Getchy spends a lot of time working with our clients on helping to organize their stores, their outlets, their channels. And one of the things we're noticing right now is the market's really evolving fast, particularly in China. The biggest change that we're seeing is that stores and retailers now are being competed against by alternative channels like e-commerce. And one of the other things now is that consumers, because they have mobile devices, are really getting into the whole idea of shopping as an experience, but without a punchline. They're not buying in the stores, or not predictably anyways. And so one of the key things about store network optimization, or what we call SNOW, is the idea that you're trying to not only figure out where to put the store, but something about the store's revenue and the merchandising, so you can more predictably both attract the consumers, but also incentivize them to buy. And that's a big leap. In the old days, people believed, particularly in China, if you put the store there, the consumers would come. And even if that's partially true or mostly true now, which it is still, having consumers come isn't the same as having them buy. And what you'll find in a market when you talk about retailing is you'll find there are a few locations that are far, far better than all locations. And what you'll also find is that one of the factors of the locations, and if it's a mall, will be the mall operator, their tenant mix, the way they put them all together, the way they run the mall, how clean the mall is, how it's laid out, how it's designed, was the construction good? But there's another factor, which is the area. And that's a whole different layer of complexity. Is it on the subway lines? Well, that's an indicator, but maybe not the only indicator, certainly from our data. Is it an area with high density of consumers? Well, that's important, but a lot of malls are destinations. So the fact that there's not a lot around there, it's not a residential area, it's not a commercial area, doesn't really affect it. So knowing something about the area is also very important. And the last thing that's clearly very important is that it's not related to the number of malls or the amount of retail activity that seems to be in the area. So you find areas with a very large density of malls, but none of them really are having great turnover because they're all splitting up a smaller pie. And you find other areas with a few malls, and generally one mall will be doing great and the other ones won't be doing as well. There's usually only a few areas in a big city in China where more than one mall are doing really well at the same time. And part of store network optimization is about the process, not about the result, because as new malls get built, as consumer retailing patterns change, what used to be a good mall is going to start evolving, maybe not in the best direction. And an area that has some mediocre malls, maybe if you get the right operator with the right tenant mix, all of a sudden a formerly mediocre mall can start being a really good mall as long as it's properly built and it's in the right area. So it's a slow process, but it's continuous, and it's quite difficult for retailers to manage on their own. So we supply tools to help them do it.